Hi everyone, you're watching Video Gaming Over 40 and this is VGO Girl, and today we're talking about Order in Chaos 2 Redemption for iOS, Android, and Windows. And we're going to go ahead and just take a look at some Ranger rotations and the skills that I use for both PvE and PvP. It just is kind of a way to help any Rangers out there looking for a decent setup. First, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my PvE setup. So go into skills and you'll see my PvE skills that I have set up. For a triple shot, we have the green. It deals additional extra damage, magical damage. So I actually use this for both PvE and PvP, but it's a skill I rarely use, or a spell I rarely use. For scatter shot, I use the purple just because it gives an additional hit point recovery. Kind of always need this, but you can use the green if you wanted to. The stunning shot, I use the orange one, and you don't need to. I mean, it kind of helps out a little bit more. You could use the blue. The blue, though, you really want to watch out for because it's got a taunt on it. So while it does give you a shield, the mob will attack you, and if nobody's going to taunt it off you, it's going to make everybody's life a little bit difficult. So the only time I ever use the blue one is if I'm in GTL. So other than that, I really would avoid it. For the trap, go ahead and use green here. It just gives a little bit extra damage to it. The slow and the immobilize for most dungeons and things really aren't a huge deal, so again, that extra damage is good. For the marked man, I typically use the blue just because, again, it gives you a little bit more of that recovery for your attacks. You can use the orange. I use it if I'm in a dungeon and everybody's kind of dying, but because that heals. But other than that, I keep it on blue. For the rain, I use the green, the sneak, the blue. The orange for the sneak, and that one is kind of important, the sneak one, because it resets the sniper, and sniper's a really big one for PvE. So for sniper, I use the orange. It resets the skill, or the refresh time for the sniper, and that's really important because sniper's a big one for PvE. The poison dart, I use the heal just because I like to help out. And then we go into the skills. I use the no mercy and impertus. I don't know how you say that, but those two. The big one is if you're going to use that second one, you want to stand further back from the mob. So a lot of times you'll see the rangers way back, and that's important. So I'm going to go ahead and just look at the setup for I have, and if you look at the skills that I have set up, that long sniper shot is the most important one. That's the one I use all the time. If that's available, that's the first button I hit. Now I do the rain occasionally. Sometimes I'll do the triple shot, not very often. Usually it's the rain and the poison dart because I like to heal. Throw back to cleric days. And then again, those two kind of clustered around where your thumb kind of sits, that sniper shot, and the other ones right around there are the most important. That triple shot I very rarely use because it takes so much of your mana, or whatever you want to call it, away, energy, and so I very rarely ever use that. I try to avoid it. I do use it if we're killing a lot of the little mobs around, just because that way, I can target them fast. But other than that, if I want to do a lot of damage, especially if we're hitting a big boss, I always use that sniper shot. And again, the sneak, it will reset your sniper shot, so that's a really good one to use if you're trying to get in a lot of damage fast. I don't use it all the time, to be honest, but it will reset that sniper, so that is a good tip if you're trying to get a lot of damage. Get as many sniper shots as you can off. Now for PvP, it's a totally different setup than PvE. When we switch to PvP, you want to use all green and blue. Now some of these blue you could switch to green, like for instance the trap. Um, you know, the trap is okay on blue. I use that for kiting warriors especially, but you could switch it to green to do additional damage if you prefer to do additional damage. I prefer to be able to have the option to kite a warrior around, so I do keep it on blue. Also, we've got the stunning shot was good for kiting warrior as well, and the sniper shot, that I use only if I'm kiting a warrior, and I keep it on the blue because it freezes them. So again, those 3 for kiting warriors is good, but everything else, you're pretty much going to go for max damage in shortest amount of time, which is different than PvP or PvE where you just want max damage. So if you look at this setup, the triple shot that I was barely using in PvE, I am now using all the time. It's in that corner spot right next to my thumb. It is the most used spell. Now below that I've got my poison dart because that's another big one, and then the eye and the stunning shot. Those kind of 4 around the corner there are my most used in PvP. I do use the rain damage one a little bit, but again, I only use it if there's people bunched up together. But those 4 around the kind of the curve, that with the triple shot down in the poison dart and around, those are going to be your most important. I do use the traps occasionally, and I use the that sniper shot occasionally, but those are really only if you are kiting a warrior around. You can keep the warrior back off of you between those 3, the sniper, the trap, and the stunning shot. So those are great. And then again, down in the corner we've got the stunning shot and the disappearing one, and those are great for if you're trying to if you're dealing with mages. But the rest of the time, especially in the battlefield versus instead of the arena, but the battlefield, those 4 around the corner are great because you're trying to kill the other guys, either ranger or mage or something like that, as quickly as you can. And it's not about so much doing the most damage over a longer period of time like you would in a dungeon for a boss. You're doing the most amount of damage you can during that short amount of time because you need to kill them before they kill you or before they do too much damage to you. So that's kind of the setup that I use and how I kind of group my spells and use them for PvE versus PvP. This is VGO Girl, and you're watching Video Gaming Over 40, and we hope that you found this video useful. Definitely check out my other videos. I have a lot of information on pets and cards and gold farming and a lot of the other aspects of the game. So please go ahead and check those out, and if you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.